because used to, every state had their own set of rules for certification, and it was fairly easy to get certified. Then the federal government decided to get involved, and there was a lot of red tape. But it was fair because they wanted every state to have the same kind of rules to get certified. So because of all the red tape and it was just a lot involved, and plus a lot more money, we just decided not to get certified. But we do grow organically, and we're glad to share any of our organic practices, you know, with anybody that asks. So, but I'll kind of start taking you on a tour. The state that we then that stick worked because they grew up and fell over and broke the stick. So then we went to the stick system, and these are cattle panels that we get at Orchlands, and we let the tomatoes grow up, and we tie them to that fence, and it keeps them upright, keeps them irrigation system that we started using a couple, 3 years ago. And this is a low, what's it called, low flow, and it's a lot more efficient using your water because it puts the water right to the roots, and versus using a sprinkler because you're going to lose a lot through evaporation using a sprinkler. I'm in a big mess already. Now, everybody says,
we were saying that in another country where we go, they try to connect the farmer to their products. And so there's a store we go to in the country, and they have pictures of the farmer and what they do, and, you know, to connect people. And this is a kinesthetic part of ag and the environment in the classroom. Kids need to feel it, taste it, touch it, you know, smell it. Okay, here we go. Notice the yolk. It is a vibrant orange. And
it's double A.
Yeah, it's this is the kind of thing that you know, if you have an omelet, it's on the orange side. And so when we did this, student said, "Something wrong with this egg." I said, "No, there's nothing wrong with the egg. There's something wrong with your experience." So these, you can see these critters are, you know, they're walking around, they're eating off the ground, they're eating bugs and all those things, which is what they're supposed to do. Now, I guess Rayetto would always say the following thing: can we afford to feed the population of the United States on only organics? And that is a very tough question, because how many Suzannes are there? Not a lot of them.
Just like there's a human being. At first, 3 days after they're born, we do take the calves away from their moms. We milk the moms and get what we call colostrum. They have to get that first milk, or they just really will not live. I mean, they've got, that's just the way that nature is.
That cow saying thank you and please hurry. First time I've ever done it.
The motor is, that's the beat of the heart of the cow. And that's the pulsation that's coming right through here. And it's just like if you were sitting here on a stool, you'd be going like that. They move it up here. So what you need to do now is feel the pulsation and comparing it to the same thing that you feel up there.
My neighbor had
I'm sorry.
a
Sorry.
farm for years.
Couldn't operate like that, you understand? You have to have a lot of production to pay off your debt, but the economy has changed on the
Now,
It's a messy
the
eater.
cow only has one lower teeth. No teeth at the
Oh,
top.
push you on.
Oh. You know how many stomachs a cow has? Four.
Oh, we learned that.
And they're ruminating. So that means
Copperheads. The only thing I've seen has been in Kingston.
They theoretically come here in 2 buses. One, and they're made just like school.
Yeah, just like anything that you pickle like that. You can take and scrape that off of the top, and as long as the air hasn't got down through it, that down in there is going to be fine. It's what's on top that's going to be spoiled. That being apples. So one of the first things they're going to do, especially with this heat, even though we have a whole lot of humidity, is they're going to dry their apples. And a lot of times they get together with other families and do a little socializing while they were doing that. And they called it snapping apples. All right? And a lot of times it was done, like I said, as a social event. And so we're going to do this as a social event today. We've already picked our apples. Actually, we don't have that many apples just yet. But I do have apples. And with the apples, you're talking about snapping apples. The apples at this time for this type of social event were going to be basically used as fortune telling also. A lot of times you would have the ladies, the young ladies especially, they're going to peel their apples and work on trying to find out who they're going to marry in the future in several different ways. And we're going to snap apples, but I've only got like 6 knives. But what we're going to do, first thing you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to peel your apple, all right? And keep the core, or not the core, the peel as much together as you possibly can. I don't want it to break, okay? Uh-oh, okay. So, now we broke 2. Now, what you're going to do, well, then you're going to look and you're going to see what kind of initials the apple peel makes. And supposedly what initials it makes is your true love and who you're going to marry. And that was one way to do your
It says
your
Joe.
fortune telling. No, I'm not married to a Joe.
But also produce the most profit. So as I said, everyone grew corn, couldn't make a lot of money on corn. You might get 30 cents a bushel for corn, which wasn't a bunch of money in the 50s. But you could make the corn into.
The first thing that you're going to need to do, you'll need scissors and string, and that's on the tables in front of you. You need to find 2 big pieces of the white corn that's in the bucket, the dishpan over here. You'll need 2 of those, and then you need a smaller piece that can be any color. It can be the white. That's going to be the arms. So if you want to go to this pan over here and get 2 big pieces of your corn and bring it back to your table, the corn shucks, bring it back to your table, then I'll show you the first step what to do with it. You need 2 big pieces. You want to tie that together. And if you need to, you can work on putting your hair a little girl.
My wife.
I can't believe I did it too. Popped it in and
At least an inch down from the top. Yes, tie it in a knot.
I'm telling you, I am a victim of abuse.
Be real tight. It's okay. Then tie it for a little while. It becomes pliable again. You can check it in.
She's kind of hippie.
Now, if you want to get really creative, you can make clothing for your dolls.
You know,
She's got junk in her trunk.
back then that was
Fashionable.
sought after. Yeah.
If you do